Good. How are you?
Um, Sam Singleton as a runner, what does he bring to the table? What is it like blocking for different runners within this offense?
Yeah, I think Sam did a great job on Saturday, kind of providing a spark for us. And obviously, as you guys saw, he's got an ability to hit the hole fast, and he's got elite real speed. And I think he did a great job on Saturday. And I think that all of our running backs played great on Saturday. So I think it's good, to have a bunch of guys that can go out there and get it done.
Liam, getting the performance that you guys did last Saturday ahead of what is 3 road games in your last 4, what can that do for you confidence-wise, and especially with the game of the magnitude this weekend?
Yeah, I think that, after Saturday, we kind of, got back to our standard and the way that we want to play and the way that we expect to play. So I think that, moving forward, kind of just take that same approach we did last week and, do our best to, finish as strong as possible for these last 4 games.
We'll go to Aslan in the back row.
Going into your guys' season opener, there was a lot of noise about you guys not really having a chance to beat a team like Alabama. I feel like probably the last month has been a lot of that same kind of energy that you guys have had to absorb. I don't want to give negativity more oxygen than it needs, but how much of that does drive and motivate you guys?
Yeah, I think we're kind of focused on what's said inside the building and, the right voices. And, a lot of people have opinions on the outside, but those opinions don't really matter to us as much as the ones inside the building. So I think that's been the biggest thing is leaning on each other, leaning on the coaches and, coming together in that way and, taking on the challenges within, not necessarily bringing on added negativity from the outside.
We'll stay over there on the right for Matt.
Obviously, you played your former team last week. What were the emotions that kind of went into that? I know it's a new staff, but from talking to Damon at ACC kickoff, I know you two were close. Just how cool is that to be able to see the guys again?
Yeah, it was really cool. I've got a bunch of really good friends that are still on the team. I know a couple of the coaches that are still there. And, it was definitely a nervous feeling going into the game and one that I really wanted. So I was really happy that, we were able to get it done. And, yeah, I've got a lot of really good friends, so it was great to see them. I haven't seen them in a while, so that was cool.
We'll come back to Liam on your left.
When we talked to Tommy, Earl, just everybody after the game, they were so vocal in their support of Coach Norvell. And despite, like you talked about, what's happening outside the building, they praised, his ability to navigate stuff inside it and motivate you guys. I know it's just been your first year with him, but what have you seen from him, especially during that difficult stretch that kind of kept you guys going?
Yeah, I think Coach Norvell does a great job of, being the same person every day. And, nothing about him is fake. He's as real as it gets. He's one of the realest people I've ever met on this journey of, playing college football for 6 years. So I think that, we all see that. We know that, what he's saying is from his heart and truthful. And I think that just automatically demands respect. And I think, he's got the respect of every player in this team, every coach. And, he definitely has my respect. And, through the tough stretch we had, he's been nothing but steadfast and true. So I appreciate him for that.
We'll go back to Aslan on your right.
That Clemson front seems to have a lot of guys that have NFL kind of buzz around them. I mean, when you do the film on, is it obvious or is it just some stuff that you really don't get a feel for until you're actually in the game?
Yeah, I've had the chance to play against a bunch of these guys for the past couple of years. So I've played, I think, basically everyone except for the transfer DN. But other than that, I've played them all, and they're all great players. They're all super talented, big, strong, fast, and a lot of them will have long careers in the NFL. So I'm excited to play them. It's going to be a great challenge, and every time you play Clemson, you know that you're in for a war.
Come up here for Chris.
Is it a lot of Peter Woods for you usually when you face them? Or
I've gone against them all. Peter Woods, Cape Hart, number 19. And then in the past, they've had other guys that I think have recently left. But, whenever you play Clemson, it's going to be, their front seven's going to be legit, as well as their, back end.
Is it with guys like Woods? Is there a mix of they're large and strong, but also quite fast for their size?
Yeah, I just think when you're playing against an NFL player like that, it's going to be a challenge, and he's every bit of first round caliber D tackle, so it's a challenge for sure.
We'll go back to Matt on your right.
With that being said, that you've played these guys so much, and a lot of your teammates on the O-line probably haven't because they've transferred in from SEC or other conferences. Are you kind of giving them extra tips in the film room this week or out on the practice field, knowing some of these guys' tendencies?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I played against these guys, so, whenever we're watching film or anything, if guys have questions, I'm definitely there to answer them. And, I've played at Clemson twice, so that's kind of the environment itself is always a fun one. So I think that's kind of providing insight on that and what they can expect for that. So when we get out there, it's not something completely new. At least they have someone that's played there before.
Kind of to piggyback off that, Luke, just, you obviously playing at home in front of the fans, Joe Campbell's a really special thing, but when you guys are kind of in this place where everything is so important week to week, is it kind of, I don't know, a benefit to go on the road and kind of hunker down and then have to, compete in that sort of a forum, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's a great challenge going on the road and playing in the ACC. So I think that, embracing that and, being able to, test ourselves in the toughest of environments it's a good thing, and it's going to be hard, but I think we're all excited for it, and we know how big of a game this is. So it's, we're excited to go down there and experience everything about Clemson.
We'll come back to Liam on your left.
When you talk about obviously facing that Clemson front, you guys get to face a guy like Darryl every day in practice. How valuable is that, not just this week, but on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, I think going against our D-line since the spring has definitely helped us throughout this entire season. And it's nice when you go against guys that, are, really good players every single day, and you get to the game, and it definitely helps and makes it, a little bit more manageable.
Anything else for Luke? All right, thank you.
Thanks.